Hello, welcome back to this podcast. It's about the 8th of March of every year, International Women's Day. For more than a century, people around the world have marked International Women's Day on 8th of March. But what is it the day for, and why does it matter? How did International Women's Day start? International Women's Day, IWD, grew out of the labor movement. The seeds were planted in 1908 when 15,000 women marched through New York City demanding shorter working hours, better pay, and the right to vote. A year later, the Socialist Party of America declared the first National Women's Day. Clara Zetkin founded International Women's Day in 1910. The idea to make it an international event came from Clara Zetkin, a communist activist and advocate for women's rights. In 1910, she raised it at an international conference of working women in Copenhagen. Her suggestion was unanimously backed by the 100 women from 17 countries who were at the conference. The first International Women's Day was celebrated in 1911 in Austria, Denmark, Germany, and Switzerland. The United Nations (UN) started marking the event in 1975. The first theme adopted by the United Nations in 1996 was celebrating the past, planning for the future. Why is International Women's Day held on March 8th? Mrs. Zetkin's original idea for an international celebration was not tied to a particular day. The 8th March date was chosen after Russian women demanded bread and peace during a wartime strike in 1917. 4 days into the strike, the Tsar was forced to abdicate, and the provisional government granted women the right to vote. According to the Julian calendar, which was then in use in Russia, the women's strike began on 23rd of February. In the Gregorian calendar used in much of the rest of the world, that date is March 8th. How is International Women's Day celebrated around the world? International Women's Day is a national holiday in many countries. In China, many women are given a half day off work, as advised by the State Council. Thousands of events take place globally, including marches, talks, concerts, exhibitions, and debates. In Italy, IWD is called Festa della Donna, and mimosa blossoms are a popular gift. Flower sales in Russia typically double around International Women's Day. In the US, March is Women's History Month. A presidential proclamation issued every year honors the achievements of American women. In an Instagram post at the beginning of March 2024, US President Joe Biden said the month would celebrate the legacy of sung and unsung trailblazers and advocates who have made the world a fairer, more just and free place. Why do people wear the color purple for International Women's Day? Purple, green, and white are the colors of IWD, International Women's Day. According to the International Women's Day website, it says that purple signifies justice and dignity, green symbolizes hope, while white represents purity, albeit a controversial concept. Image caption: a hunger strike medal presented by the WSPU in 1909. These colors were used by the Women's Social and Political Union, Women's WSPU, group set up in the UK in 1903 to fight for women's votes. Unused ticket, the suffragette story in 7 objects. What is the theme of International Women's Day in the year 2024? The UN theme for 2024 is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, which aims to highlight the importance of gender equality measures. Conflicts and rising prices may lead 75% of countries to cut public spending by 2025, negatively impacting women and their essential services. The UN warns the International Women's Day website has chosen the theme Inspire Inclusion. It says organizers and events aim to break down barriers, challenge stereotypes, and create environments where all women are valued and respected. Why do campaigners argue that International Women's Day is needed? Organizers say the day provides an opportunity to mark progress made, but also to highlight the erosion of women's rights across the world, as well as the effects of gender violence and abuse. In the past 12 months, women in the Middle East, Afghanistan, Iran, and Ukraine have been fighting for their rights amid war and violence. United Nations experts say they have received credible allegations of human rights violations against women and girls in Gaza, including cases of rape by Israeli forces. The BBC has also seen evidence of rape, sexual violence, and mutilation of Israeli women during the 7 October Hamas attacks. Okay. In Afghanistan, girls above primary school age remain banned from classrooms by the Taliban, hindering women's access to equal education. In Iran, many continue to defy the rules requiring women to cover their hair, while activists like the Nobel Peace Prize laureate Nargis Mohammadi are facing lengthy jail terms. The United Nations says women and girls in Sudan are being abducted and raped in areas controlled by the Rapid Support Forces, RSF, where they are forced to marry and are held for ransom. According to the 2023 Global Gender Gap Index, published every year by the World Economic Forum, no country has yet achieved full gender equality or parity. It warns it is likely to take more than a century before it is reached across the globe. Is there an International Men's Day? International Men's Day has taken place on November the 19th since the 1990s. The event isn't recognized by the UN, but is marked in more than 80 countries worldwide, including the UK, the United Kingdom. The day focuses on the positive value men bring to the world, the families and communities. According to organizers, it aims to highlight positive role models, raise awareness of men's well-being, and improve gender relations. For many years, comedian Richard Herring raised tens of thousands of pounds for the domestic violence charity refuge every International Women's Day by replying to people on X, formerly Twitter, who were angry about the lack of an International Men's Day. Okay, reaching this point, I have finished this report. I hope that you learned some new things, that I opened your eyes over some hidden or some unseen or unknown facts about Women's Day. Thank you for listening. See you another time.